She caught the Katy, left me a mule to ride. The haunting and lovable refrain from Taj Mahal's blues classic harkens back to Katy, Texas's roots as a thriving train depot. Because the Missouri, Kansas, Texas Railroad, MKT, ran through the town, it is rumored that the town name is an offshoot. Train depots and rice farmland has long since given way to a bustling and growing western suburb of Houston. Katy is a blend of traditional charm and modern architecture with its old Katy town feel that's north of I-10 and its new school spirit of growth. It is from this emergence of new architecture and shops that SunMed's newest franchise was born. You can find the shop tucked away in the northeast corner of Greater Katy, north of I-10 on Morton Ranch Road. Proprietor Frank Guerra has graciously agreed to join us in the Guppy Tank. Herbs and medicine is the lesson Frank and the SunMed team are evangelizing. Like a modern-day apothecary, Frank can advise you on a soothing CBD salve or gummy to put you on your way to relief. Let's join in and learn together. It just might be the cure for what ails you. If you like our content, go ahead. Hit that like button. I'm working hard for you. You see the sweat? That's from hours and hours of editing through the night. Like, subscribe. God bless. Hello, everybody. Are you doing all right today? Really? You doing all right? Well, I hope you're doing all right. This is a day that I've really been looking forward to, and I can't wait for you to meet him. We're going to be introducing you to none other than Frank Guerra, who runs a SunMed store. And if you don't know what a SunMed store is, then you will after this. You'll know about how he started. You'll know about his ups and downs. So with that, let's just get right into the Guppy Tank. You know how we do. And introducing the great entrepreneur, the leader, the father, the husband, Frank. How you doing, man? You all right today?
Yes, sir, Mr. Carlos. Appreciate you having us on the Guppy Tank today. We're doing all right.
So let's just get right into it, man. What made you start? Well, before we get to SunMed, just tell me what made you want to be an entrepreneur in the first place? Because I know you've done some other things as far as businesses.
Yeah.
What sparked you? What was that spark that made you say, "Hey, I want to be in business for myself"?
So I think it all started when my wife became pregnant, obviously, right? And then we had kids. And as time just went by, you see how fast time goes and how quickly your kids grow. So you just want to be a part of that, right? You want to be in their lives and present as much as you can. Because, I read a stat, and by the time they're 12, they spent 75, you've spent 75% of your time with your kids before they move out and move on, to college or to their own life, whatever it may be. So yeah, I think that was a big part of it. I just want to be present for my kid and be involved in their lives for the time that I have them with me.
Fantastic. Yeah. So we talk about it all the time on Guppy Tank. It's about legacy, and I guess that's your why. I mean, that's your big why. You wanted to do something that was good for your family, for your wife, and for your kids. So that tracks. That makes a lot of sense. So what was the first business that you started?
So first, we were presented with an opportunity to move out to Dallas to run a staffing agency. So we were out there for, I believe it was like 3 years. So we were out there running it. My wife and I. It was a warehouse that was 24/7. So we were constantly, moving, constantly working, things like that. So that was the first opportunity that was presented to us before we were able to move back to Houston. And that's where SunMed came into play, and that's when we started with our hemp journey.
All right. So you say hemp journey. So all right, just tell us as if we don't know, because many of us don't know. You were good enough you taught me a lot, and of
Right.
course, I'm going to be one of your best customers. Now I'm a believer, but take me along the journey. What made you get into it, and what made you become a believer?
Sure. So as you know, companies, you kind of once you started, you're a person that does everything, right? So from finding people to scheduling to marketing to everything you can think of from A to Z. So there we're like I said, our agency, our staffing out there was 24/7. So as you can imagine, we're sleep deprived. We were always kind of on edge and things like that, and we would go and we would see how different products would work. So we found hemp to be a great product for us, right? Because we would go to doctors and they would prescribe medicine, but not really big into the pharmaceutical aspect of things, and the side effects that come with it, and physicians always wanted to go higher on dosages and things like that. So we were looking for something more natural. So we dived into hemp, plant rich products. So yeah, it's kind of how we got into that, and we would try different brands here and there, different stores, this and that, and then one time we came across SunMed and their brand. So SunMed is the only brand that we have in our store. So we're a franchise now here in Katy. So my wife and I, we own the store here in Katy. There's about 350 of these locations nationwide. So yeah, once we found it, it helped us with kind of just with stress, with sleep, with focus, everything across the board, just kind of helping with that. So we found the product and we loved it, right? So we came back to Houston and we went to a franchise show, and SunMed was there, right? So it was a no brainer for us. We were looking for something to do when we came back because we didn't want to do the same thing we were doing out in Dallas. So yeah, that's how we got into our brand here.
So tell me about the startup, right? Because that's what I think that's what's hardest about entrepreneurs, particularly new entrepreneurs, is starting. So if you could tell us, I mean, what kind of starting capital do you need? Will they help you financing? What does that look like to be a SunMed franchiser?
As always, the Guppy Tank is sponsored by Knovl Construction. Excellent traffic management delivered.
Yeah, so we're a franchise. We opened our store in 2021, and at that time we had an owner here in Katy who was looking to relocate or change direction in his career. So we actually just bought the store from him. So we were able to get the store. I think it was around like I don't remember exact numbers. I think it was around the 50 grand
Okay.
amount, and then we had product. About 20 grand in product that came with that. So you set us up with good products, set us up with the store, kind of set up with everything. As far as like a new franchise, right? Finding your own location, setting everything up. I'm not exactly sure how much it is now, but from other owners I've spoken to, I believe it's around the $60,000 to $80,000 range. So for everything to be brand new.
Now, does that for 60 or 80 grand, does that include build out, or is that just for SunMed to be the franchise and for the products, I mean, your startup products?
Yeah, from my understanding, yeah, it includes everything, right? As you can see behind us, the color schemes, the logo, website. I believe you get about 10 to 15 grand in products as well to kind of start you, get your feet wet, kind of things like that, so that you have product in store. And then the I guess the most challenging part is just to educate your community, right, and just educate people in general, because a lot of times people they think they know what hemp is, but they really don't. So that's where we come in. So we're wellness experts. So we do a lot of training, a lot of research on our own. So just to kind of educate our community, like I said, on what hemp is and how it's a natural benefit to your own body.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. So talk about that, because that was something that I was having shoulder problems, and I think that's what really got me to finally come into your store.
Right.
And I didn't know, and I believe that's real for most people. I think when they think about hemp, they think about maybe
Yeah.
some activity that they may or may not do.
Right. Right.
And from when you walked me through it, it really wasn't that at all. It really is medicinal. And so if you could talk about that, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So the science behind CBD is that in our body we contain an endocannabinoid system. So we naturally produce CBD. We have two endocannabinoids that from a young age, CBD is found in breast milk, right? So even at a young age, Just growing up, we're not knowing it, but we're already getting replenishing the endocannabinoid system in our own body. So the two endocannabinoids are called 2-AG and adenamide. So those two are deficient in our own body, right? So we have within the system, we have CB1 receptors that are primarily found in our brain and our central nervous system. CB2 receptors that are found in the peripheral organs, so that's everywhere but your heart and lungs, and it's also associated with your immune system. So yeah, imagine your receptors being like locks, and the CBD, the hemp-based products, the third-party tested products that we carry here in store are like the keys to those locks. So they just kind of they match, right, and they come into fruition to help with everything from pain to anxiety to focus. And CBD itself is a natural anti-inflammatory. Right, so if you do some research, what you'll find is that the root cause of most diseases is inflammation. Right, so the chances of CBD being very beneficial to you are very likely, just because it's an anti-inflammatory. So like you mentioned, right, with your shoulder, with your pain, the main cause that's probably happening there is you have some inflammation. So the CBD, as you can tell, right, when you came to our store, you just, in your case, you tried the cream and you just rubbed it on in the direct location where you're having the pain, and you get that relief, and it's an amazing product. It's a plant-based product. It's all natural. It's all third-party tested. So yeah, and also, a big thing about it is the CBD is not equal, right? So you can't just go to a corner store or a smoke shop and buy CBD, right? Because it needs to be third party tested, and you need to have a person that's educated and knows what they're talking about explain it to you. Because nothing against gas station clerks, but they're probably not very educated, on CBD products in their store.
Yeah, yeah, I would have to agree. I would venture to guess that your average gas gas attendant, which I have been one, so I have no offense against them. But I can tell you one thing: if I use myself as an example, I was not trained in the products that we sold. I can tell you that right
Right,
now.
right.
And I just want to say, look, of course, Frank or SunMed, they haven't paid me for this, and we're doing this interview for free. So I just want to say that cream, what was the cream again, Frank?
So it's our topical cream, right? So another thing about SunMed is that we don't sell isolate products, right? So our products, they contain other essential oils, other plant-based materials that have already been studied. For example, the cream that you tried has CBD in it. It also has arnica, which is really good for bruising. Also has peppermint oil, which is also good for inflammation, and it gives it a good smell, as you can tell
Yeah.
when you tried it. Also has MSM. MSM, what that does is whenever you apply it to your skin, it allows the pores to really open up for the CBD to really dive deep into those pores to really reach where that inflammation is and help with that pain.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, folks, that it worked. And it worked pretty quickly. It was almost scary how quickly it worked. It worked. And Frank, I don't know if it's supposed to do this, but I felt clear headed. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Is that just me going? It was going in my head, like in my head, or from something being rubbed on? Could I really get a little bit of a contact high? Is that
I would say maybe not like a contact high or anything like that, but there is over 100 plus cannabinoids in the hemp plant, right? So you have things like CBG, CBD, CBN. They all have their own purpose, right? So CBG is what we use that mainly focuses with their CB1 receptors. So that really helps with focus. A lot of our customers who have ADHD and things like that, where they have real trouble focusing on one thing, we have a product that's called Neuro. So that's CBG rich, so that really helps with that. And then you have CBN. We actually have a clinically studied sleep gummy that contains CBN in it, and that's been proven to help with just kind of calm, relax, put you to sleep, keep you to sleep. So a very, very great alternative to melatonin as far as when sleep is involved. A lot of people turn to melatonin, but melatonin is a hormone, right, that your body naturally produces. And if you feed it synthetic melatonin, right, your body starts to become dependent on that melatonin. So we always kind of advise our customers to, if you can, please stay away from that, and try more of a natural product, more of a plant-based product, kind of like what we have in store. With CBN kind of helps with that, and then CBD, again, just naturally calming. So a lot of our customers who have anxiety helps with that a lot. Also an anti-inflammatory, so kind of any kind of pain, discomfort, soreness, anything you have in your body is gonna help with that as well.
Fantastic. Well, like I said, I know it helped me,
Yeah.
and I'm sure I'm sure the folks that's out there in the Guppy Tank audience, you got that sore back or that sore shoulder or something. So
Yeah, yeah.
so give Frank a call. We'll make sure we put his info in the on the screen and in the messages. Tell me, Frank, tell me about your lowest point. It could be this business or another business. What
Mhm.
was a big struggle that you had as an entrepreneur that you had to overcome?
Big struggle. I would say maybe in this company, right? Since we're talking about what we do here, so our biggest struggle, I would say, is just trying to explain to our customers or even our new customers that we come into contact with whenever we're doing markets, or handing flyers and things like that. Just trying to get them to understand that um, these are not marijuana based products, right? We're not just out here to get you high, and things like that, right? So here in Texas, the legal limit is zero point 0.3 THC by weight. And all of our products are all hemp derived. So you have two different plants. You have a hemp plant and a marijuana plant. They're both in the cannabis family, but they have um, different levels of THC and CBD in them. So the hemp plant, which is where our products are based, are derived from, has very, very, very high levels of CBD, with essentially no zero point 0.3% by weight THC. And as you know, right, in recreational states like California, Colorado, places like that, those are hemp, those are marijuana plants, right? So that's all just very high THC, essentially no CBD in it. So if you ever go to like a dispensary or something like that, when you look at the label, you'll see that there's essentially no CBD in that product. So it's just for high, right? So what we sell is more for overall wellness, for well-being, on your everyday life, just kind of trying to help with the bumps and bruises that come along the way. So I would say, yeah, that's the biggest. Just trying to get people to understand that this is something to help you in your daily life, not just to kind of get you high.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah,
Tell me about, tell us about as an entrepreneur about, and I know you're a family man too.
yeah.
Tell me about the juggle. Are you doing a good job at juggling Frank the family man and Frank the businessman? Are you able to kind of separate SunMed business from family business, or is it still kind of overlapped? And
Yeah, still trying to figure that out a little bit, right? So yeah, like I said, we opened the store in 2021, and then we actually relocated to where we're at now. Here, we used to be about 15 minutes here in Katy away from this store. So now we moved a little bit closer to our home, just so it's a little bit more convenient for us to get here a little bit quicker and to get home a little bit quicker. You know, because traffic in Houston and Katy, it's crazy, right? A 2 mile radius or can take you 45 minutes to an hour just to get there. So yeah, what we did was we closed for a year because we relocated. So we just opened in April of last year. So we're going on 1 year of being open in this store. So yeah, as right now, so right now it's just kind of me and my sister-in-law. We kind of whenever she can, whenever she's available, she'll come and cover the store for us. But other than that, yeah, I'm here, 10 to 7. So I'm still trying to figure that home and business life out. And then just hope to grow, and I hope to really reach out to the community and reach the people, on the Guppy Tank or anywhere we may be out
that's right.
in the community, and grow to be able to hire employees and have them here and educate them and give them the education that they need in order to provide an in-store education to the people that walk into our store.
Gotcha. So keep going with that discussion point. So just dream big. What do you see yourself? You see yourself being a franchisor, a franchise owner of 10, 20, 30. Do you see it just Houston? You see it Texas wide, nationwide, global wide? What do you think the growth model is
Yeah, so
for your business, for you in this business?
right, right. Yeah. So I'd love to stay in Houston, right? I'm a Houston native, born and raised here in Houston, Texas. So I'd love to, grow, have maybe a couple more stores under my belt within the next 3 to 4 to 5 years. And that's where I hope to expand and just kind of see how that works. And, along with the, Texas legislation right now, what's going on with them and things like that. We hope it comes in our favor. But if not, we still, we offer broad spectrum products that are really just natural, just kind of feed your endocannabinoid system, to help with all kinds of the things that people are dealing with in life, from anxiety to sleep to focus, things like that, pain. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to open a few more stores. I grew up in the Southeast, kind of in the Pasadena Pearland area, so I have a lot of family down there. A lot of people who support me down there. So I'd love to open a store down there, maybe even Sugarland, right? So Houston is growing and expanding very, very rapidly. So we don't have too many stores here now, as far as franchise owners. So yeah, the the sky's limitless, right? As long as we can get that education out and we can get people to understand that this is a great alternative way to help treat your body. You don't have to go to the pharmacy all the time and up your dosage, whenever certain dosage isn't working. Kind of just try this out, see how it works. We offer samples here in store. We'll send you home with some samples too, to kind of see how that feels for you. And yeah, just kind of see what works for you. If my pain is not the same as your pain, so different products may work for you, different methods of ingestion. So we have water solubles that you put in any beverage for you to drink. We have USD organic oils. We have topical creams. We even have a few non-CBD products like the adaptogenic mushrooms, like lion's mane, cordyceps, things like that. Super greens that are really good for anti-aging. Has all your probiotics, prebiotics in it as well. So yeah, just the goal is to grow, to expand, obviously, and just kind of, my kids, they're here with us every time too. I go pick them up from school, we come right back here. Even at markets, my daughter is amazing at just kind of handing out flyers, telling people to come visit our booth, come to our store, come learn about CBD. We give our kids CBD products as well to help them with sleep, to help them with focus. Whenever my son has, a toss test or a tax test, whatever it is, whatever they call them these days. But yeah, it really helps him. We used to live in Dallas, and the weather out there, every now and then you'll hear tornado warnings or sirens going. So now here in Houston, while we do get some tornadoes while we lived here in Katy, we've had a couple while we lived out here. Whenever the weather's bad, even if it's just windy, he gets kind of anxious, so he'll go grab him a CBD broad spectrum gummy, and it just kind of calms him down and helps him with that. And you can see it, you can see the results. And I'll always turn to something natural before I turn to like a pharmacy, right? So yeah, that's the goal, and hopefully, with God's will, God's plan, it'll all come to fruition.
God's will, God's plan. So with that, I just want to say thank you so much, Frank, and God bless you. God bless your family. And hey, we look forward to meteoric growth of
Yeah,
your business and every good success. So I just want to say thank you, man. Thank you for agreeing to talk with us. And thank you for
absolutely.
being so open and for teaching, for having a teacher's heart.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
learned a lot.
Yeah, that's what we're here for, and we appreciate all you guys listening on the Guppy Tank. Hopefully you'll get a chance to come see us out here in Katy. We're located right off of Morton Ranch and 99. So if you're familiar with the area, you'll stop by anytime. Come grab you some samples. Come try the products in store. Let us educate you, and yeah, thank you for your time, and we look forward to meeting some of you guys.
All right. See you soon.
Wasn't that another fantastic Guppy Tank? Oh man, I learned so much. Don't you? Yeah, this is fantastic. This is wonderful. Thanks a lot, Frank. I learned so much. I took so many notes. I want to get to the main 3 points. Don't forget, we call them 3 goods and a should. So let's go over our 3 goods and a should. Frank did a fantastic job of explaining how legacy is his big why. Did a great job of that. Next, this is not a dispensary, y'all. Don't go to a store trying to get a spliff. This is a health store. Think of it like a health food store. And then thirdly, I thought he did a great job of including God in his future plans and his current plan. Fantastic. If I were to say one thing that we could do better, that he can do better, and that's on life-work balance, I don't think he'd take any offense with that. So I want you to put down a list of the things that's most important to you, Frank. Put down that list of the things that are most important to you. And then, working from that list, I want you to take a look at who could possibly do those things. Is it something that you can hire out? Is it something that you can maybe use AI to do? And then you'll find that some of the tasks, some of the work that you're doing, perhaps, just perhaps, you can turn that over to AI or turn it over to some other helper so that you can get back to that work-life balance, all right? And that's not just for Frank, that's for all of us. That's for me, and that's for you. At the end of the day, though, look, this is another wonderful, splendid Guppy Tank. I hope you learned as much as I did. God bless you.